Hello, everyone. On our podcast show today, you might notice something different, something very wide, and that's the image. We are going DJI Pocket 3 crazy. In a previous episode, we did a quick deep dive into it about Woodson's experiences with it and how he liked it traveling in London, being a creator and everything like that. And he liked it so much because I kind of bullied him into getting one first that I got one.
You got one.
So what we're doing today is we're actually recording our entire podcast, the video side of it, on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which is pretty cool. So this just makes it kind of a very good test of the image quality, the audio quality, and everything like that.
And the versatility. I mean,
absolutely. It's versatile, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, so this might be our favorite camera of 2023 and 2024, now that we own them, because we wanted them in 2023. We got them in 2024 at the end of the year. And
I'm going to be using it all through 2025.
Yeah,
sure.
I definitely can't see myself not loving this thing. It is definitely cool. So on that topic here, I wanted to address something that we spoke about in the previous episode, which is the McDonald's ice cream machines.
Yeah.
I believe the company is called Taylor.
Right.
Yeah. And they have multiple contracts with their team to repair and fix the ice cream machines at McDonald's, which break often. Now, we went into why that is because the machines that Taylor makes are actually all identical.
Oh, yeah.
With the exception of one thing. And that's the fact that the McDonald's machines are actually tailored to have a self-cleaning function that does not exist in the Wendy's machines, the Dairy Queen machine, any of the other partners, right? Retail partners. So their machine specifically has this mechanism where it does X amount of cleaning cycles until it breaks down.
Or it just tells you to clean.
Yeah, or service it. And McDonald's corporate doesn't trust in. Actually, it's a contract, so even if they wanted their staff to fix it, they couldn't.
That's right.
Right. So because of that, because repairing it or releasing any repair plans to it would be a violation of the DMCA. Apparently, iFixit, I believe, was the one that spearheaded a campaign to actually remove that DMCA, remove the kind of proprietary nature of the repairs. And now allows third parties to actually repair their machines.
That's good.
Yeah, in the US though.
Right.
So Canadians will still have to suffer with broken machines for just a while longer now until we get that rectified on this side of the border. But good news for the Americans.
So this the app you mentioned about the Wendy's, is that still working?
McBroken? Oh yeah, it definitely works. Yeah, it's just the offers are for the U.S. market, not so much for Canadians, unfortunately. So those $1 Frosties may not be coming to us for a little while. All right, if ever.
Yeah.
Especially now that the machines will be unbroken, unMcBroken. So that was the update on that. Right. But moving right along, we have a big show here because we have to talk about two behemoth companies. First, we have to talk about Elon and his Tesla company, and some announcements that have come to light recently at his October event that we didn't discuss. So we do apologize about not catching up sooner. We just needed to kind of take it in and everything because there have been some things that have.
It was one of those events where the investors weren't impressed at all. With the launch. I mean, Robotaxi, I mean, it sounded good. The whole concept is great. But, as an investor, because this is where you get all the money, right?
Yeah.
To build or construct the cars, stuff like that. But they weren't impressed with, I guess, the return.
Yeah.
Because if you're an investor, you want money back, right?
Well, let's dive into why. Because it's difficult for anyone out there to understand unless you understand what was told to investors, right? So, obviously, Mr. Musk has a tendency to stretch the truth about the announcements about Tesla specifically, right? I mean, SpaceX, I think he's not around a lot. I heard a story about him and how during all the SpaceX launches, he's mainly playing video games. Yeah. In fact, he is a top 20 Diablo 4 player in the world.
All right.
So he's been grinding in the dungeons all the time that he's supposed to be paying attention to the rocket launches. And during the event, yes, the SpaceX team did have an amazing re-entry of their Starship, which is fantastic. Congratulations to that team. They really work hard on that, and they had so much information to share with Elon. I think he was just headphones on, just like, oh yeah, grinding away. Yeah, I can see him doing that. Not caring, but no. The focus is, of course, on the Robotaxi event and why it's not a good investment for the investor, at least for the short term. And that's because the number one thing that kind of was brought out was the Robotaxi itself. Now, a lot of people thought that he would be bringing out a $20,000 Tesla model, which would be accessible to everyone. Instead, he brought out a Robotaxi that was $20,000-$30,000 to the vendor. So whoever wants to run a Robotaxi fleet, they can buy these at $30,000 a piece. And the software on board, I guess there's some sort of fleet management software that they can manage. And the thing has 2 doors only. That's right. But a huge trunk, apparently. No steering wheel. Yeah. You can't drive it out of traffic. And we've seen in many cases, Waymo and some of the other self-driving cab companies is that they run into situations where they can't outmaneuver. They can't maneuver, right? So having a driver or some way to actually grab the wheel and get them out of situations seems like a good idea. Although I think someone did ask that question, and I think there is a chance that maybe there is an emergency, some joystick that pops out or something, and I don't know. Like
I've seen those cars moving at the presentation. They move really slow.
They move very slow, too slow to be useful in traffic, too slow to be useful on an interstate, right? Yeah. And full self-driving has been promised for years. Like we can go back in time and say that, hey, full self-driving was promised like a decade. No, not a decade. At least 5 years ago. Yeah. Full self-driving, right? But now recently we've also found out that none of the current Teslas with the installed hardware, none of them will ever get full self-driving because the hardware cannot handle it.
Yeah, I think the with Tesla, especially what Elon's asking about, all these new products, all these new devices and vehicles, and that there's always a delay, right?
Yeah, there's a huge delay. Like the Tesla Roadster is still floating around in space, undelivered. Undelivered.
Yeah, the new Roadsters apparently was meant to be one of these supercars, super fast.
Yeah,
and it's been delayed.
Yeah, Cybertruck also was delayed.
That took a
years.
While. That took a while. Yeah, it was announced like 3 years ago.
Yeah, shipping now,
but the problems they had with Cybertrucks,
they still have problems, right? They're still working through the issues.
And then now the announcement of Robotaxi, we probably won't see any until like 3-4 years later. So
3-4 years. I'm going to give it 5-7 because. Yeah. They move so slow. They're not practical because they have only 2 passengers. Yeah. We didn't even see any mention of cargo capacity. Like, could this carry 2 people to the airport with their huge luggage and everything like that? And who helps them out of the vehicle with it, right? Usually, if you have a driver, someone helps out with that. So does it just like kind of conveyor belt it out to the passenger, or
you're just going to have to carry it out yourself?
And 2 passengers seems like not enough.
I'm still unconvinced with the self-driving. I've seen self-driving itself. I've seen people actually activated and running.
Yeah,
but I've actually never really kind of see it in full operation in the term that it's like sufficient enough to say it's safe, it's good.
Yeah,
But it's still a long way to go yet. I mean, right now, was correctly mentioned about the satellites, the Starlink satellites they have, and that's probably all to do with GPS tracking and stuff for the cars as well, right? Not just for the Starlink internet. They use that for the GPS for the cars, right? So I mentioned that last time. They had like 2,000 satellites. Corrected now, it's 6,000 satellites. And then they're going to put in more, up to 20,000 satellites over the next 5 years.
The space pollution is very real. Also, just so everyone knows, I just turned on our podcast recorder. So everything that we've been recording so far has been off of this microphone that's stuck to my mic.
Oh, right.
Unfortunately, because I forgot to hit the record button. So if it's a little bit quiet for a little while, I'm sorry. I forgot to hit the record button.
Okay, so now you're recording on
recording on the Roadcaster, so you can hear the difference between the fuzzy mic over here, which should pick up Winston as well too.
Yeah.
And then myself as well too. So we'll just so you know, that was by accident. I didn't mean to do that.
That's right, because at least we now know practical terms how this DJI Osmo Pocket 3 works. With the included combo kit includes the DJI Mic 2, right?
Yes.
So when you activate this, that'll record from this, and it has really good sound because I've been using that for myself.
Yes. Okay.
Now you switched over to the Rode.
Just so you know, this is an inline kind of accidental review of the DJI Pocket 3. We really like this device. So, but anyhow, let's move on. So investors weren't happy because they didn't get a consumer product that can be shipped en masse to the consumer market. These will have to be purchased in fleet vehicles, which means that potentially maybe the margins won't be as good because you have to sell X amount. They'll take away production capacity line to their products right now because they have to build new ones.
With investors, I mean, you're looking at long term. You're looking at like a delay launched. It could be like 3, 4, 5 years before you see your money back. So as an investor, am I willing to put like this money in to invest and wait like 5, 6 years? We don't know what the sales is going to be like.
This is like also R&D because full self-driving is not. It's actually not permitted yet. It's not. It's in its infancy stages. There's still a lot of testing that happened. And recently, the NHTSA, the National Highway Transport Association, they're not friends with Elon at the moment. They will be maybe later. We shall see how that relationship works out. But if and when Elon gets the authorization to run these cabs, still there's going to be a lot of safety testing that needs to be done because there's a process.
Yeah, because you're looking at people's lives at stakes.
That's right.
You know?
And people have died on full self-driving, whether or not it was their own fault for playing video games or not. And in the vehicle, I mean, there's some common sense things that need to be taken care of, but there's also some things that the vehicle itself needs to come in and step in when things go wrong as well too, because you're relying on the car to be a driver, and a driver needs to be attentive and able to respond to emergency situations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I see the futuristic side of things. I mean, you know, when you call an Uber on the app, the Uber comes, the car comes, and you check the number plate, whatever, and then you just hop in and it drives. It goes to that certain route. You have to follow that route to get to the destination. And when you arrive at the destination, you just hop out without having to like fuss with the change and the cash or whatever to pay. It's already done in your app. So I can see the future where you just hop on Robotaxi, the destination's already set, and you go where you go. Self-driving, yes. We don't know it. I still don't know. I still don't trust it yet.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I think we've covered that ad nauseum in some of our recent interviews at Computex, where some of our tech friends, even being in the industry, they yearn for simpler times, simpler decades like the 80s, and how things were much more free, if you will, where kids are out till 10 o'clock at night and mom doesn't know where they are, but they know they'll be okay, even though they can't call them, keep tabs on them. All right. So let's just say that we wanted to carry more people. Then there's another product that Elon rolled out. It's called it's spelled Robovan, but he calls it the Robovan.
Robovan. I'm going to call it Robovan.
It is a Robovan.
This is like Robotaxi.
Robotaxi?
You don't call it
Robovan.
Robovan. Okay. Robovan.
Whatever, Elon.
People carrier?
People carrier.
Okay.
Seats more than 2 people. Seats, I think they were saying...
It's almost like... It's 12 or 16.
It's configurable, I guess, depending on the comfort level, but it looks like it's a 12-person passenger vehicle or a troop carrier for the other product that he was parading around, which are the Optimus drones. So if he wants to invade a city, he would just load up these Robovans with his Optimus robots, and they would be taken over.
I mean, I've seen. Do you know the price on those? What do they call the robots? What they call robots? Optimus robots.
Optimus robots.
Between $20,000 to $30,000 for one.
Yes, and most of them on the floor, except for the ones that walked in. I believe that what they were saying is that they were actually people
inside.
The ones that were behind the counters and everything, they were talking to people. Those are people for some reason. Or more so, they were actually controlled by people. So all the responses were not actually from the AI.
Right. So it's a robot, human controlled, like a drone kind of thing.
And you could see in the presentation in the dark corners that there were these people looking down at their phones and kind of controlling things.
Right.
So maybe that's why the the Robotaxi and the Robovan had such a smooth ride, because there were actually humans at the controls.
Because they had a bar with those robots serving drinks, and you can't see the
they're covered.
Half. You only see the body.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, because normally you have a robot face, but it's just more of a mask with a black kind of tight.
Yeah, so maybe the robots were real, but they were controlled by humans. I give benefit of the doubt that maybe that part of it was controlled, but they were still impressive. The dexterity it takes to actually be able to handle these types of things shows great progress in the way that the Tesla team has actually put together these things. So congratulations to them, at least figuring this part out. That's great. And your note there, it seems that the Robovan will carry 20 of these Optimus drones into urban centers and deploy them.
It sounds like
scary.
Star Wars with the drones.
It sounds,
and it just drops off like 20 robots, and then they'll come off.
Well, this is kind of the criticism in the movie AI, starring Will Smith.
Yeah,
the Robovan troop carriers were in there, and all the AIs would jump out of them. And then the Robotaxis were actually similar in the look and everything. In fact, I think there's a lawsuit going on right now where Elon's company is being sued for outright copying the vision of the director and the creative team from the iRobot movie, right?
Yeah.
You know, like and I know that great artists steal. This is a phrase that often is attributed to Steve Jobs, but great artists steal. But
you told me a story. I don't know if it's true, but it's just one of these things that people say that if you buy a Optimus robot, and you just bought one, and it's coming to you. It's got delivered to your house.
Yeah,
you're saying that there's an operator somewhere in a call center operating that robot. You're paying for that service.
I'm sure. Okay.
You imagine you subscribe, you pay for the service, and there's some guy in some call center controlling that robot do your house chores.
Look. We already know that the Tesla Model 3s have had some privacy issues with some of the employees being able to sneak a look at the drivers as they're driving around, right? So what's to say that these Optimus robots, if you have two of them, as recommended by Mr. Musk, that they are not potentially being controlled by Tesla employees, right? It's happened in the past.
It got hacked and it
was employees just kind of checking it out because they had the footage and they had access to the cameras.
Right.
I mean, come on.
That is privacy issues there.
There's a huge privacy issue.
Yeah.
There's a huge privacy issue to have these two things inside, unless the control center is completely AI controlled and is off limits to humans while it's in operation, unless there's an error. There needs to be checks and balances in place.
Yeah, I'm worried about these robots if it's like these AI.
Yeah. Like $60,000 because he recommends two of them. Okay, $30,000 a piece. A piece. Running around your house, doing whatever. Maybe creating a mess somewhere. Maybe snooping on your stuff. I mean, this is kind of scary.
You're sleeping, right? You're sleeping,
and this thing's hovering over you,
and it suddenly walks into your room. It's
like, what's it doing? What's it looking at?
It's like that film AI, the original AI film with that baby, kid robot, and he's just standing in the closet.
It's weird. It's weird.
You lock him in the closet, and he's still there in the closet, and he comes out.
Okay. Anyhow, so are we getting an idea of why investors are not impressed with this? Because investors want a return, either long-term or at least some upside short-term, right? And all of these announcements are at least 5, maybe a decade away if they become the products that people think they are.
There's a lot of prototype testing as well, and there's beta testing, and it's going to be a while. It's going to take a while.
Yeah, no consumer product is coming out within the next year.
Yeah,
right. I mean, even the refresh for the Tesla Model Y is coming out. It's coming out now because they're offering 0% financing if you want to take full self-driving with it in Canada. So you get 48 months, 0 interest on your next Tesla Y, but this is the old outgoing model with full self-driving. You have to buy that as a package. And then the next models will probably hit around January, maybe February next year, right?
I mean,
2025.
give Elon some credit because he does create stuff which is like totally like you wouldn't expect people to do, right?
Yeah.
Or other companies to do. I mean,
He gives the green light to the
brain.
team.
Remember the brain chip that he had?
Oh yeah, the brain chip.
That's
The
just
second person has it. I mean, it's not a Tesla announcement, but second person is in it. The first person, the wires have retracted for some reason, so he's lost some of the functions. So they're going to have to go back in there if he wants it all back. That's gross. That's also kind of painful. Sounds painful.
Yeah.
So things are early stages for that company, Neuralink. SpaceX is having a good time because everything is working compared to Boeing, who's having a horrible time right now.
Oh yeah.
So
people
maybe
are striking and stuff like that.
Yeah, they just finally figured that out, and the teams are back. It's going to cost them $1.1 billion over the next 3-4 years to have the raises and the benefits.
Yeah. I mean, right now, if you look at Boeing, right, you have competition, Airbus, right, and all the other companies, other jet companies.
Yeah.
With SpaceX, there's no other competition
except for Boeing
for rockets
and Bezos.
Bezos, yeah. But for SpaceX, they basically all the NASA launches or expected for NASA is actually handled by SpaceX.
Yeah, it's reliable at the moment. It's the best reliable partner at the moment.
Yeah,
it has not had any catastrophic failure. So he's delivering on that point. So as an investor, I can see why stock fell during that time period. It's back up again, of course, right? Because of certain events. But we'll have to see how that pans out. Like, I mean, is it the move that he needs to deregulate the full self-driving so that he can actually unleash it and like take the guardrails off and just make it work? Is that what he's waiting for? Because these are people's lives that the checks and balances are in place for a reason. And if people start dying in full self-driving cars, then investor confidence will again be eroded.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So we'll have. Is it too soon? We'll have to wait and see. Okay. Speaking of very valuable companies, Apple has released an Apple a day for the last week.
Last week, the whole of last week, an Apple a day, but it wasn't a grand launch like the iPhone
paper launch.
Yeah. It was,
well, they had one video.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a massive like Apple event launch or anything like that.
So let's go through the investor stuff. So first product, iMac. Right. Well, iMac has, of course, multiple colors. You got like all different rainbow colors now, right? I don't know how many colors, but they got different colors versions. Yeah. The only thing with this iMac is that you only have an M4 chip, the new M4 chip. Okay.
And that's the only choice. You don't get the M4 Pro or the M4 Max. You only get M4.
Okay.
Right? That's what according to the website.
All right.
But the thing is with this is I don't think it's powerful enough, to be honest with you.
Huh.
According to here, it's got a nice 24-inch screen, 4.5K Retina, 16 gig of unified memory.
Okay, so that's how it works. I mean, 16 gigabytes is plenty for any Mac.
And then you have 256 storage,
which is tiny.
USB 4 ports or Thunderbolt. So you got 2 Thunderbolt, and you also get the USB 4 ports as well.
Okay,
right.
So it sounds like a MacBook from last year shoved into a 24-inch case.
Yeah, and then you got like if you want to upgrade to memory, you can. 24 gig memory is going to cost you extra $250 US. Right, so you're looking at 300 plus.
Yeah, we would do that, right? It's easy.
An extra storage of 512, but 512 is not enough, really. I'll go for a terabyte, and that's extra $500.
Yeah, like an iMac is basically a mini desktop inside the home with a screen built into it, and you do need a lot more storage.
Wait,
I mean, families will be using an iMac, right?
Look at this. No Ethernet.
What? No Ethernet?
If you want Wi-Fi only, and if you want a gigabit Ethernet, that's an extra $50.
So okay. All right.
What the hell?
Okay.
Magic Mouse.
Oh, the Magic Mouse has been reinvented to have USB-C.
Is that the same connector underneath the thing? If you noticed that,
they reinvented the connector, but they left it on the bottom where you can't use the mouse while it's charging.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's basically it. So you can buy the extra software like Final Cut Pro and all that, but to be honest with you, the Mac, the iMac, the new version, M4 chip, if you got the older version, there's no need to upgrade.
Yeah.
These are good for like having, if you open a nice studio and you want to impress your friends with, you know, either reception.
It's the grandma and grandpa machine.
Yeah. No, you can't do a lot with it. You need to get, because it's all enclosed in the screen, you can't upgrade it.
With a 1080p camera.
You can have to buy it with the upgrades.
Buy it the way that you want to have it, because otherwise you're going to be paying to buy another machine.
That's basically it for the Mac.
Jeez.
iMac. I wouldn't recommend anyone buying the iMac, to be honest with you.
But the keyboard and the mouse, they're color coded to the machine, though.
Pathetic. What's the point?
How much is it? At least give people an idea.
$1,699 for the basic model.
Okay.
That is pretty much
256, 16 gigabytes.
Yeah.
That's really bare bones. That's like a MacBook Air shoved into an aluminum shell with a 24-inch screen built into it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, nothing special.
Is it accurate?
I would say so.
Did I get that right?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't off base on that. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. So it's basically a desktop you can't...
A desktop you can't take with you.
Yeah.
A laptop you can't take with you with a big screen.
That's right.
Okay.
It's got the M4 chip. Right. That's it.
So it has its place, probably at reception or...
like a reception.
The receptionist.
If you want to impress your friends, kind of like in the reception.
All right.
That's
studio. So the next day, what did they announce?
This is a little bit better. The Mac Mini.
Okay.
So you have seen those Mac Mini like square block things that they're about this big. For the size, I quite like it. Right. Pretty powerful. You have a choice of M4 chip or the M4 Pro.
Okay.
All right. And it comes with 24 gig memory.
Yes.
And if you want more, double the size, that's extra $500 for 48 gigs.
And this is just the way that the Macs actually put memory in. Because it used to be 8, 16, now it's
so 24, 48, and you can have 64 gig. Again, the price. It depends on the price. It comes with 512 storage.
Which is, I guess, better than the Mac
256.
Mini. But you don't get a screen. You don't get a keyboard. And you don't get a...
You have to buy that all out separate. Yeah. So I would go for terabyte storage. I think that's an extra $250 if you want. Its options go to 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte, and 8 terabyte. Forget about 8 terabyte because that's $3,000 extra on top.
For an 8 terabyte SSD, aren't they like $200? $300?
Well, 8 terabytes a little bit more expensive because you don't get to see that much. But that 4 terabyte is a little bit pricey at $1,500, right?
I'm pretty sure a 4 terabyte SSD these days you can buy like a Sabrent or something like that for like
about $400.
Yeah, so it's $100 per terabyte.
So you pay an extra $1,000 more for an Apple upgrade, right? Again, it comes with one gigabit Ethernet, which is fine. So if you want a better one, like a 10 gigabit Ethernet, you can pay more for that. But there's no point for a 10 gigabit because you need a 10 gigabit router to get the mess. Yeah. So
and a lot of Mac Minis end up in data centers as servers because Apple doesn't do servers.
Yeah.
So they're used as server devices.
Mm-hmm. So this one has 12-core CPU, 16-core GPU, and 16-core neural engines, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Starting price at, I think it was, how much was it? Here you go. $1,899 US.
Okay.
So you're looking at 2,500.
No screen, more RAM over the Mac Mini.
Yeah.
If you already have a screen and a keyboard and a mouse, you just drop this in place.
Yeah.
But there is one issue with it.
What's that?
The power button's on the bottom.
On the bottom? How far is it at the back?
It's on the butt. It's on the bottom. It's literally, if you put it down, you can't access the power button. Okay. So it's not meant to be turned off or turned on.
Oh, just leave it on. And it'll go to sleep mode, right?
Well, Macs are different. I guess they think different in that, you don't need to access the power button as often. I know some people do turn off their Macs, but I guess...
I tend to just leave my computer on and then just go to sleep. And then that conserves power.
So maybe it's not an issue. Non-issue, maybe? Do you agree that it's non-issue on the Mac? Because the power button's not accessible. You have to flip the whole thing over. So let's just say that you bolted them down in a data center.
Oh.
And for some reason you needed to do a hard reboot. You would need to actually,
unscrew
everything, decouple it, pull it out, flip it out around, and turn the power button back on.
Or you can do the raw thing, which is pull the power at the back.
Oh. But you would still need to get it out of the rack though. right? So I don't
Yeah.
know. Is it an issue? Is it a non-issue? I mean, if you have a comment on that, let us know.
So this one,
kinda weird.
$18.99 is the M4.
Yep.
If you want to get the M4 Pro, that's extra $250 for the M4 Pro chip.
Worth for the Pro, I
Which
guess.
is 14-core CPU, 20-core GPU, that kind of stuff.
I would say it's a go ahead. Go ahead and do it. Right.
So this is good for your home setup if you want to you have a screen already. Most people have a computer.
Yeah, they're replacing some
screen.
Computer and they have a keyboard, mouse, and everything.
Yeah, you just replace the actual unit. And this is powerful enough for most work.
Unfortunately, in this case, though, it's Bluetooth only. So, I mean, you would actually have, you couldn't, that's the thing. On some Macs, early Macs where they were all Bluetooth, there were some issues with the pairing and everything like that. So you would actually have to figure out some way to pair your existing PC mouse, or if you're upgrading or downgrading or whatever, PC mouse, PC keyboard to it. And you wouldn't have USB ports specifically because there's only, how many? There's 2.
There's 3 Thunderbolt 5 ports.
Okay.
So this is quite interesting because the previous ones don't have as many because you've got the 3 Thunderbolt 5 now.
So this is a good, decent upgrade for the Mac. iMac.
Yeah, because you have the Thunderbolt 5, not Thunderbolt 4 or 3. This is 5, Thunderbolt 5. You got 3 of them. You got HDMI port for your, monitor and stuff like that. 2 USB-C ports, which is okay enough, I guess.
Yeah.
And then a headphone jack. And that's the only connectors you have.
Headphone jack is good because headphone jack has made its comeback.
Yeah. I'm telling you, a lot of people don't believe that 3.5 millimeter jack is such a powerful connector.
Yes.
It's used in a lot of professional stuff.
Yes.
It still is.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Huh.
One thing about these new products, right? So the iMac and the Mac Mini is that it comes with, of course, Apple Intelligence.
Yes.
Because it's the new OS that's included.
Okay.
So you got new Apple Intelligence included in that.
So smart now.
It's got AI, Apple AI. But it's not Apple AI, Apple Intelligence.
Okay. All right.
So that's the Mac Mini.
All right. And it's smaller, slimmer, of course.
It's
a little bit smaller.
It's a good, decent upgrade if you have a previous Mac Mini.
Okay.
I would say.
Okay. Huh.
The next one.
Yes, the next one. We got a brand new notebook, right?
Yeah, it's the MacBook Pro.
It's gotten even more pro, but I thought last year it was the most pro ever.
This is even more pro.
Oh, more pro.
Now this one has not just the M4 chip in it.
Okay.
You have a choice of M4.
Yes.
M4 Pro.
Yes.
And M4 Max.
Okay.
More cores.
Cool.
More
bigger,
cores.
More. Does it come in black still?
I guess so. It shows black there.
Okay.
Available in 14 and 16 inch.
Okay.
So, of
14
course,
will be most popular, probably.
14 most popular. And 16 inch, of course, you'd pay more for the screen size.
Okay.
Just to go for the standard M4 one, right, first.
Yeah.
I want to tell you that. It's got 10-core CPU, 10-core GPU.
Yeah.
16 gig of memory. That's
Okay.
the basic, right? And 512 storage.
Huh.
That's the kind of basic model you get, and that's $2,099 US. You're looking at 2.5 Canadian.
All right.
2,500 Canadian.
Decent.
Okay, so that's 14 inch, but that's kind of the basic, right? So, do you want to go upgrade a little bit more? So yeah, of course, you probably go for the Pro M4 Pro, and this one has 12-core CPU, 16-core GPU. Again, 24 gig memory, so a little bit more memory.
Yep.
And same storage size. I wouldn't go for 512.
No,
I would go for 1 terabyte, because 1 terabyte will cost you an extra. Let me see. Here we go. An extra. Oh my god! 1 terabyte will cost you another $250 on top. And the M4 Pro cost of this laptop is, here we go, 2,699 Canadian US. So you're looking at over 3,000 Canadian.
Wow.
For a M4 Pro with 1 terabyte and the standard 24 gig.
It does have Thunderbolt 5.
It has Thunderbolt 5.
So Thunderbolt 5 specs are like 240 240 gigabits per second.
40 gig for the, I think it's 40 gig for the USB 3 point, just before.
Yeah,
so it's 40 gig for the USB 4. So Thunderbolt 5, I'm not sure how much it is.
I think it's 240 gigabits per second max throughput going one way. But if you want to do dual So input and output, it would be 120 each way.
Right.
It does support power delivery up to 140 watts.
Yeah.
And it has low latency, which means it can drive up to 3 monitors, 4K,
Wow.
up to 144 hertz.
So the thing is,
How did I remember that? I don't know.
three Thunderbolt 5 ports, which is nice. HDMI output, of course. The SD card, a full size SD card, not the micro one. So full size SD.
So full size,
SD card.
So it's because it's Pro.
Yeah, because it's Pro, of course. Headphone jack and MagSafe 3. Of course, you got the backlit keyboard with touchscreen ID. Oh, touch ID.
Of course.
And of course, the Retina screen, 14-inch display. I think for some reason, the Apple do put a lot of the high-end specs on their MacBook Pro.
Okay.
Which is something I think there's probably one of the best sellers in terms of the PC, I'll say PC, but computer setups.
Well, it would last the longest.
Yeah. The Mac Minis, the iMac, and even the Mac Pro are not really good sellers. The MacBook Pro is the most of their best sellers.
Yeah.
So they put all the newest and the best hardware in the MacBook Pros.
Of course.
Which I think makes sense.
Of course.
So for this one, I think 14-inch is fine. And I would go for the MacBook, the M4 Pro rather than just the M4.
Because the price difference is not a lot.
Yeah, looking about $500 more.
Okay, the price difference is a lot.
But that's Apple price, right?
Apple Premium.
So the next one, which is going to be crazy, is the M4 Max.
Okay.
All right. So this one has.
Wait, hold on. So we were only talking about the normal one?
This was just the M4 and M4 Pro.
So now we have to spend more dollars.
For the this is the M4 Max.
Okay, tell us more.
This one has 14 cores, CPU, 32 cores, GPU, 36 gig memory.
Yep.
So before it was 16, it was 24, now 36.
Okay.
And it has 1 terabyte storage, which is the best.
How much?
The spec I just told you is cost you $4,349 US. So you're looking at over probably 5,000.
But that's a 14. What about the 16?
16 is a little bit more.
A little bit more?
Extra $200 more.
So $200 for 2 inches more screen.
Yeah. For
14 seems small these days. I think I would go 16, especially with the slim chassis.
So if you go for the M4 Max, which is the most Pro, Max chip,
most Max. Okay.
I would go for the 16-inch because you're going to get like this would be I would say a so-called desktop replacement kind of spec.
Yeah.
Because you're getting a nice big 16-inch, you're getting all the big cores and all that kind of stuff. Usual stuff with the Thunderbolt 5 and all that kind of stuff.
I guess in that spec, you could also get a Thunderbolt 5 dock, which are like there's few of them out there. But if you have a Thunderbolt 5 dock, you can run 3 monitors now at up to 144 hertz.
Oh yeah,
and then you can have all your storage localized. So even if you get a lower spec MacBook, even with 512, you would have storage on tap at 240 gigabits per second, which is crazy.
Right, and there's one more chip which is even more powerful. It's the M4 Max, but this one has more cores. The M4 Max has the 14 cores, right? So they have an updated version of that, the M4 Max with the 16 core. Yeah. So is it even more cores?
Yeah, more Pro.
40 cores of GPU, whereas the other one was 32 cores. Yeah,
but
40
how
cores
much?
GPU. Now with the other one was 36 gig of RAM. Now it's 48 gigs of RAM, and same 1 terabyte storage.
Yeah.
And 16 inches now. So this was $5,299 US.
So almost an extra $1,000.
Yes, and then a Canadian price will probably hit almost $6,000
for a laptop
for a 16-inch.
You know, if you lost that, if it fell for any reason without Apple Care, that would be harmful.
Could you buy a car with $6,000?
You could buy a cheap used car. Yeah. Yeah, you could buy a cheap used car for $6,000 US. Absolutely, you could. Right? Would it run very well? It might need some work, but I think
you can buy a nice
gas car. You can buy a motorcycle, used motorcycle.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of substitutes to that. Mostly transportation.
So what for 6,000 Canadian dollars? What can you get for that in terms of PC?
You can. This seems like a very, very good PC. It seems like something with a 4080 or 4090 on board.
4080, 4090, no problem.
Top spec AMD.
Yeah.
Probably if you want to go Arrow Lake, you would get Thunderbolt 5.
You get Thunderbolt 5,
for
right?
like you would get an Arrow Lake. You would get, like a huge 34-inch gaming monitor.
Oh, 34-inch, yeah, nice.
Really great motherboard with lots of LEDs and everything. Gaming grade.
At least 2 terabyte storage.
Like a custom keyboard with like
128 gig RAM.
Clicky keys and everything like that. A mouse that actually doesn't have the port on the bottom of it. It actually can charge and be used at the same time.
A Windows PC with nice, window tempered glass.
Yep, window tempered glass, and even the operating system. If you know where to buy the operating system, you can get it for $10, $12. Not from Microsoft.
And it's upgradable anytime.
It's upgradable.
Yeah.
This is but you can't take it everywhere.
With change to spare as well.
Yeah. So you would need a PC laptop that would be about the same equivalent. And I think that this year, in a lot of cases, the PC laptops have gotten cheaper compared to the
they have
MacBooks.
gone. I think they have. The prices have come down. I noticed that. I think it was a report about a couple of months ago that the PC sales have dropped. I'm not sure why, but I think it's general. We're talking about when we talk about PCs, I tend to talk a little bit more niche about the hardware, computer side, gaming side,
based PC.
Yeah, because when you talk about PCs, that includes laptops, and that's what the report is.
Yeah.
And if you look at some of the big companies out there, like the Boeing, GE, and General Motors, and that they all use Dell laptops, which is like PCs.
Yeah.
So, I think PC prices have come down, and I'm hoping that with memory prices coming down as well, you're going to get cheaper memory, also SSDs as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, definitely, I think Apple users definitely need a break. I mean, to pay $3,000 for an upgrade for an 8 terabyte SSD, that's highway robbery. Like seriously, it is, because any PC user can buy a 4 terabyte stick.
Yeah. So the thing with I've seen the SSDs for Apple, and what happens? It's the same format, M.2,
but it's missing the controller.
It is missing something, right?
So it's missing things.
So you just can't buy. You can't just go to the
Micro Center
to buy an SSD. A normal PC SSD and stick it in your MacBook. It doesn't work.
It
won't work. And vice versa. You can't get an Apple, for example, if you want to get data out from an Apple, right? SSD, and you put it into your PC. It just doesn't work. You have to buy a specific SSD that's compatible with the Apple.
Okay. On a side note, if you like the MacBook Air, the base model has been upgraded to 16 gigabytes of memory, just so you know. Same price.
Yeah. I don't know why Apple charges so much for these MacBook. It's nice spec. Don't get me wrong. I love the spec. I love all the specs that it shows you, right?
Yeah.
But for the price, come on.
You can buy You can buy a desktop and a laptop. PC desktop, a really decent PC desktop, and a really decent PC laptop. Thunderbolt 5, Arrow Lake.
Yeah, and you can buy a PC laptop designed for gaming.
Yep. Or you can get like a Windows PC plus AI. As your as your portable device, which is running on Snap ARM, and then you can have your gaming setup at home, and you have everything synchronized over OneDrive or whatever. And by the time you get home, you sit down, you have a proper gaming setup. You don't have to huddle behind your laptop.
So the other thing that they have going for is this new Apple Intelligence. Now, this is with the new OS and everything. So the only thing I want to ask is, hey, is Siri AI'd up or not? Because if you ask Siri on the phone, the Siri built into the phone, it's just dumb. Siri is dumb.
Yeah, Siri has not had the best time.
So is Siri going to get an upgrade with AI? Because
it's supposed to. You'll have to tell me more. Also, anyway, quick update from you. How is the hearing aid working on your AirPods?
Oh, that I've actually haven't tried it as much. I did notice that the noise cancelling is quite nice.
Okay.
It has 3 modes. So it has the just off, which is standard, and then you got the adaptive.
Okay.
So what the adaptive does is not when you're speaking, is when it hears the noise outside and the environmental noise. For example, if someone's like digging up the road or a siren, it will then if a passing car goes past, it will then dim the noise cancelling because you can hear the outside.
It's a safety thing, right?
Yeah, safety thing. The other one is the full noise cancelling, where you listen to music, you can't hear nothing at the background, right? And it's only when you speak, then it kind of dims down the noise
Okay.
so you can actually make a conversation.
Okay, so if you go to the Starbucks, you don't look like a complete douche talking to the person like you're not talking to the person.
Yeah. But apart from that, the audio is good. I like it for the price, and he's got the USB charging now, and it also has a little speaker, so you can
actually ping the case. Something that Samsung is yet to do, because that's super annoying. That you can't find your case if you lose your Galaxy Buds Pro 3 and Buds 3 in the case. This has been a long running issue that you can't just ping the case because your buds are stuck inside. You would actually have to drop one of them outside of the case for you to even find anything. And then there's no point, because if you find one of your buds, where's the other bud that's inside the case? Or where is the case? Now you can't charge your buds. Silly. At any rate, I think it's time to end the show. So thank you very much. Yeah. And I hope you enjoyed this real world look at how the DJI Pocket 3 actually works on the podcast. Right?
That's right.
So this is the video. And then the first part of the show, because I forgot to hit the record button on our Rodecaster Pro over here, you get to hear the audio straight out of the device. So hopefully that's not jarring for you. Okay?
Yeah.
At any rate, we will be back next week with another show. So hopefully we will see you then. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.